presents School is Now in Session.
Welcome to Homeschooled Podcast.
Homeschooled.
The Homeschooled Podcast. Why? Because he was homeschooled.
It's time to document the journey.
Welcome back to Homeschooled Podcast. I'm Augustino Zoida. It's great to have you guys back. We know you have a lot of options for podcasts. Like our guest today who has a great podcast called the Not So Sexy Podcast. Did I nail it or what?
You did. I know. Not the with Liv Milano.
Say again?
It's you forgot with.
Oh, I gotta do with. Well, I'm just gonna let them assume because our guest today is Liv Milano. Welcome back. Last time we had you back, we were on the other side of the garage, and we weren't as fancy as we are now. Not that we're fancy now, but great to have you back. And we're going to just get going in just a second, but really quick before we begin, I would like to ask everybody for a big favor to please download my comedy album. It's available worldwide. It's my first album I've ever released. I held on to it for a couple of years after recording just because I don't know. You know, as an artist, nothing's ever that perfect for us. And for so many years, I held on to it. And I actually, finally released it. It's going back and listening to it years later. It's great. All I did was edit out a couple things I didn't like, and it's great. And it's like some of it, I'm just like, I can't believe I don't do this bit anymore. It's so awesome. So guys, I'm really proud of it. It's my first album ever. It's called The Bad Guy. Please do me a big favor and download it. It's available everywhere: Amazon, Spotify, iTunes. And when you get it, please give me a 5-star review. That just helps it climb the charts. And when it has 5-star reviews, it's more likely to get recommended to people who like comedy, so please do that. And if you like listening to stand-up comedy on Pandora, I'm on there too, so you can just search my channel, Augustino Zoida, and you can listen to stand-up comedy, not just mine, but everybody that you normally like to listen to, but listen to it on my channel, and I get paid. Okay, because I can use the support over here. Also, don't forget to support the podcast by picking up a t-shirt. We have awesome t-shirts. I'm wearing one of my sweatshirts right now, the Document the Journey Homeschooled Podcast. That's one. Yeah, and I have another one, which is the ex-president's logo. Go check them out, you guys. We have sweatshirts, t-shirts, masks, and neck gaiters, mugs, whatever you name it. I got hoodies for your dog. I got you covered, okay, you guys? So head over to homeschooledpod.com. Click on merch, and that's where you can find the links to my album and buy the t-shirts and stuff. Okay, so let's get right into it.
Yes. I'll be because I drink sometimes.
What are you drinking there? Is it a Guinness?
A Guinness. Yeah, I know I'm weird. I don't love beer, but I really like Guinness.
I really like Guinness too. My whole thing with it though is I can only have like maximum 2, and that's pushing it. Just because it's heavy.
I can only have maximum 2 drinks of anything.
Oh. Well, I'm definitely not a lightweight. I can drink all night, but Guinness particularly is like heavy for me, and it's it's like a meal. But I love doing Irish car bombs a couple times a year.
Is that where you drop the?
You drop some Jameson into a glass of Guinness. That's an Irish car bomb.
I would do it. I would try it.
You've never had one?
No.
Well, you like Guinness.
I do like Guinness, but I can't have a shot and a drink at the same time. Like, I'm such a lightweight, and I can't throw up. So I will literally die if I drink too much.
Wait a minute. What do you mean you can't throw up?
I mean, I have not grown up middle school. I have like no gag reflex, or maybe is that what that means? I don't know.
Yes, that's what that means.
I cannot throw up. Like it'll come and like flirt with it coming out, and
Oh,
it's
that's
like
the worst.
It's far worse than growing up. So that's why that has kept me in check my whole life, because I'm like I'm die if I drink too much. The worst feeling in the world is being nauseous, so I avoid it at all.
Well, if there's anything worse than the feeling of having to throw up, it's not being able to. It's so bad.
It's not that I didn't want to. I'll like throw my finger down my throat. I will literally do anything if I'm sick.
It won't work?
No. So that's why whenever I get sick from poisoning or something, I have it down to a science. It's an automatic 5 hours of agony. Where I'm just like, oh, I'm gonna die, but it has to come out one way or another. So it has to go all through the process.
I'll tell you what, I am a master of making myself throw up if I really want to.
She just goes in, she's so sick, she throws up, she's like, I feel great now.
Yeah, I would be a horrible gay dude because my reflexes are so sensitive. I got a little trick too. I go and I tickle the back of my throat. You know that part that feels like a walnut in the back of your throat? If you can actually touch like the skin part where you get like all bumpy. I just like tickle that part and boom, done deal.
I can't.
One time, I was in Vegas. One time, and I was like there on like a bender, like partying with my friends for like 3 days without sleep, and we finally were like, we need some food, and we went in.
Drugs?
What's that?
Does that mean you did drugs when you're on a bender?
It could mean a couple things, but yes, we did do drugs, and and yes, I think a bender could be anything from drugs, alcohol, whatever. It's just something where you're going hard on something for many days in a row without stopping. Isn't that a bender? I don't know.
So sex for 3 day bender?
So it's like a 3-day, and we're talking without sleep. So finally, we were like, hey, we need to get some food. So we went into like the only restaurant that was open in Vegas in the middle of the night. I think it was like a Fridays, and I got these chicken tenders. I ate meat at the time, and they were just straight up raw in the middle, like just raw. I didn't notice until I had eaten like one. And I just went back to my room and I made myself throw up with the old tickle the back of the throat trick.
No, I can't do that.
So we just started off on the not so sexy right away.
So that's the gross, not sexy part.
Do you have a little bit of a delay or do I?
Yeah, I think there is a little bit of a delay.
Okay. We'll power through.
I could log in on my phone to see if that would be better.
Oh, okay.
Do you want me to do?
It's not terrible right now, but I'll let you know in a second.
Okay. This is Audrey, by the way. This is my kitty that I got in quarantine. I rescued Reed from my sister's ranch, and I tried to give her away 2 times. They sent her back the first time. The second time I met the people, and I was like, no. And then Wilson started grooming her, like they were licking each other. And I was like, well,
She's just staying. But you went to your sister's ranch pretty recently, so that's a fairly new cat?
No. I've gone to her place twice.
Oh, okay. Because I was going to say, she's like not shy at all for you having her only like 2 weeks.
No. She wasn't shy before either. She had 4 kids, so like, she was around horses, goats, chickens, kids, so she wasn't really shy. And that's how I ended up taking her, because when I'd be in my sister's office working, she would come at the door and like wait for me, and I'd be like, Jen, can I bring her inside? And she wouldn't let me. So I was there for like a week, and I was so worried about them every single night because there's bobcats and stuff up there.
Oh, man.
I know, so terrified. So I came in the morning, the second to last day. She didn't come like when I called her. The other 2 boys came, which I adopted out, Bowie and Elvis, and I was crying. I was like, what else can I do? And then finally she came out, and so now she's a member of the family.
I'm so glad that when I hear that, especially during this quarantine, that people are adopting pets. I've always been pushing, a pet adoption. I rescued my dog. I know there's so many pets out there that need homes, and it just breaks my heart. So, but now more than ever, people's mental health is like really at a crisis, and I just really try to tell everybody, like, guys, I'm not saying that you're going to cure it, but you're going to be doing a lot better with a pet in the house.
Really, for real, because like I suffer with depression, especially. Well, mine's more. I've never been diagnosed because my shrooms have always said when you're depressed, you have a reason to be. It's not like it comes out of nowhere.
Well, sure.
There's always reasons, so that's why I've never been really diagnosed. But the thing about having a pet is when you are in your bed and you can't get up and you just feel paralyzed and you're just like not doing well, your cat or your dog's gonna come over gnawing at you, like, hey, let's play or feed me. So like I want a dog too, but I won't get one until I move because I shouldn't even have two cats to where I'm gonna be moving. But I love all animals. I want a horse. I want a fucking ranch like my sister. I just love animals.
So where is your... I want to talk about mental health a little bit today. Where is your mental state right now? Because the last time I talked to you, you were going up to your sister's house, you bought a gun, you're like, I'm going to the ranch and I'm hiding. So, I mean, this is a tough time for a lot of people. I'm more concerned about everyone's mental health more than physical, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
I think we've come to a point where the solution is worse than the problem.
I agree.
So, how are you doing? I mean, I know that you're a stand-up as well as I am, and but I don't think you've been doing it as long as I have, or you weren't as consistent, but I've, like, I'm losing it. It's like, I'm on an emotional roller coaster. Like, it's, I get emotional to be inside of a comedy club. It's like...
I would probably cry too. Because we're artists, so we're like emotional beings. When we have no outlet, it's almost like it's simmer, like it's bubbling to the top, and you don't have any release. And it sucks. My mental health has not been great. I mean, I'm so glad you texted me today because today was my second day of like not wanting to do anything. I've been doing okay. I usually just try to give myself one task a day, and I'm a crafter, and I make skincare products now. Like
I've seen.
I have to keep busy. That's why. And there's so many things you can do by yourself in your house. So
That's key.
Yeah. So I found new passion in skincare, and I have like researched the shit out of it. So like I'll be like, okay, today I'm gonna make a new lotion or a soap or a balm or deodorant. Like every day I try to say I'm gonna do this today, or I'm gonna do my podcast today, or I'm gonna do a TikTok today. And then but the last 2 days, and I do have sometimes even amounts of days good and bad, and sometimes a couple days of bad. But today would have been my second day of bad. So when I got your text, that got me up. Like I fucking did my nails fancy for a podcast. I'm so these will last me one day. I'm terrible.
Worth it. Worth it. Worth it.
Yeah. And
The only way to grab a can of Guinness is with those nails.
I should be a commercial.
So, yeah, I mean, even to be in, it sounds crazy, but even to be inside of a bar, like I was just in Philly, and a couple of times I have traveled to others. Yeah, I'm so thankful to do stand-up again and inside of a comedy club. But when I go any other state and there's like indoor bars, like you can actually go inside to a bar, or you can actually go up to the bar and lean on it. And I get emotional over that. Like if you played Piano Man, I would just start crying. You know what I mean? Like it's just so. It's an unbelievable feeling. Let alone to be in the green room and that smell that comedy clubs all smell like, which smells like the deep fryer and alcohol and like those. You know those bar rags that most bars yeah, with the blue stripe down the middle, and then what they do is like they all like have a company that comes and picks up the dirty ones and drops off clean ones, and they all kind of smell like that Clorox smell, like they were just cleaned. The towels, and walking into a comedy club has that significant smell. Oh, we got a little cat right up in there, and when on the East Coast, you can kind of smell cigarettes a little bit still in the comedy clubs, which I think they might be in there still from like they're still there from the 70s, that smoke.
I miss the smell from smoke because I was a premature baby. My mom smoked while she was pregnant. And like East Coast, they smoke with all the windows.
Oh, I know.
Cold. So like that's probably why I have
Yeah.
asthma. Probably why I'm 5'2".
I mean, I don't condone it, and I don't like the smell of cigarettes, but something about a comedy club and like cigarette and alcohol smell, it's just like I'm home, you know?
I know, and I don't. It doesn't bother me. The smell of smoke doesn't bother me at all. In fact, I made a soap that smells like clove cigarettes.
That smells good.
That smells so good. Yeah. I know what you're saying. The stickiness of the bar and waiting to fucking get the burgers.
And it sounds crazy to get emotional over being in a bar, but I mean, that's how much mental, mental health is at stake here. And I was born in a bar, not really, but I was like, people don't realize how young 20 years old really is. Like when you're 20, it doesn't seem like that young. And thinking about it, I go like, oh, I started stand up at 20. I'm like, I always think I should have started at 18 is what I think to myself. But people don't realize how old 20 is. Like,
your brain isn't fully developed yet.
I started stand up at 20 and started working in the comedy clubs and working in the bars and cleaning the bars for stage time, and then when they lock up afterwards, I would stay late at the bars and drink with all the comics. It's like at 20, so it's just a big part of me becoming a man was me being in a bar, performing at bars, those weird bar shows and just the ruggedness of it. And so how are you doing? I mean, I know you're home now from the ranch. You feel safe? Do you feel like you want to go shoot your gun? What's going on?
It's amazing how safe a block makes you feel. Even there was that massive manhunt 2 nights ago.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it was crazy. The helicopters. Sadly, that's a every other night thing now. And it was never like this. I've been in Sherman Oaks since my kids were in kindergarten. I've been in LA since I was 18. It was never this bad. Sherman Oaks is a good.
It was a good neighborhood.
It was a good. But now it's honest to God, and I can say this because I look at the Citizens app. You might as well be living in Compton as of like things that are going on. Like it's crazy. I can open up the app and it's like naked women stabbing people, guy with machete, manhunt, guy with gun. This guy just 2 nights ago was on the loose. They had like my street closed off. They had like 20 cars. The SWAT came. There were 5 helicopters. When is there ever 5?
And that's what mental health does. That's what's wrong. People are having mental health issues. I mean, every now and then you're gonna get a guy who's not mentally there, who watches the Batman movie and then dresses like Joker, goes into a theater and shoots everybody. But now it's like, imagine when you're taking even people that were somewhat normal, who are on the verge of mental health, and you've locked them in, and you told them they can't do it. People are losing it, man. And it's not good. It's not good.
I'm a wrong person. I've been through a lot. So I feel like I'm very, what's that word? You're just like, no one can really knock me down, because when I get knocked down, I shoot up even higher. Like I do go down, I let myself feel, but then I don't know, I feel strong, but I am struggling. I'm literally things need to happen. Things need to start opening, because I fucking live alone. I think it would be different if I even had one other person, a roommate, a boyfriend, my girls. But I don't have that. And like my girls are all the way in Orange County. Every time I go to the ranch, it's been 2 times. I have to quarantine 2 weeks before they'll see me again.
Oh man.
So it's just like. It's fucking rough. I'm not gonna lie. It's rough. I was gonna socialize last week, and I finally was like, fuck it. I'm gonna meet my friend Vince for coffee. I'm gonna meet my 2 girlfriends for yoga. And then all that shit happened again. Where it's super dangerous now. Like I feel like we're in a Batman movie. I don't trust them. My innocence has been taken away a long time ago as far as trust but it's based on facts.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna let divulge my grandma's stories on the internet. All I'm saying is I don't trust the system, and I have big reasons.
I agree with you. I agree with you. If I was a big director or something like that, and I was casting a Batman movie, I would be like, "Get me Gavin Newsom." That's that's what I would say. They would be like, "Well, he's not an actor." Yeah. I know. I know. Did you see that? But what I'm saying is, how perfect is he to cast him as a villain in a Batman movie? He's like, yeah. I'm so sick of that shit. And yeah, then there was that bullshit that he went to this dinner that had 12 people at it, while he's telling you that you can't have more than 6 people at your Thanksgiving. But he goes out. But other people at the dinner are all doctors and stuff, who are his advisors on the restrictions.
They're saying don't see your fucking family. I'm sorry, this is where I get mad.
I get mad too.
It gets me mad because I feel like people like you and me can see through the bullshit, but most people who haven't had their innocence stolen want to believe that there's someone guiding us that cares about us. And so I get torn because do I want to get coronavirus? No. I don't want to fucking get it. I have asthma. It could probably be bad. But also, do I believe? I don't fucking know either. I'm on the fence. I've always been super liberal. But when it came to like swine flu bullshit, I never believed them. I was like, I've read too many books about population control to know that a virus is a way to control the masses. Like I've read 2 books. You know what I mean?
Well, I'll tell you that coronavirus, it is real. It is real. I'm not saying that it's not real. I'm not saying they just made up a disease. It's real. It's been around for a really long time.
Really?
Yes. It's been around for a long time. I've said this. I sound like a broken record because I tell so many people this, because a lot of people don't know that Lysol on the back of the bottle, on the back of the spray, coronavirus is listed as one of the things that it kills. And it's been a patent virus since 2006. Microsoft, aka Bill Gates, owns the patent on the virus in 2006. So how are we just barely hearing about this now? Also, have you noticed when like everybody got all the toilet paper and they bought all the Lysol and the Clorox wipes and stuff like that? Have you noticed everything kind of came back to the shelves except for Lysol? I still don't see Lysol on the shelves. I don't think they want it out on the shelves, because then you can go read the back of it and see what it kills.
The movie, they're writing the script, and I'm not saying like I said, I wouldn't be in my home if I didn't believe, because I talk a lot of shit. And I don't mean half of the things I say. So I mean, it's not that I don't believe it's real, but at the same time, like, we're not a free country with someone telling us who we're allowed to see and who we're not to see. And the fact they have made us scared of our own family is not okay. And the fact the solution is worse than the cure is not fucking okay. So there have been doctors who got together and from Harvard and
I remember.
And they were like, this is not good.
Yeah.
People need to get out. And like, it's just fucking bullshit because they brainwashed half the country, the other half was questioning. There's people in the middle like me, and it's not good. I really and also they've cut off our ability to make money. They've cut off our lifeline as far as creative stuff. We're fucked. I mean, thank God we have cameras and lights and we can do stuff, but it's not the same. When you're a stand-up and you need that audience energy, that's why at the very beginning I was asked to do shows and I turned them all down, so now no one asks me anymore. I'll do podcasts all day, I'll do sketches all day, but for stand-up it's a very special experience to me.
The live experience is nothing like it.
You gotta have that light in your face. You gotta have audience energy. Otherwise, it's just acting.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel stupid.
And people go, well, you got these stand-up specials that you watch on Netflix, like how that works. So it's like, yeah, but they recorded it in front of a live audience. So the timing for the comic is there, the energy is there, and to be honest with you, a lot of specials are great, but none of them can hold a candle to watching a live performance, to seeing the comic in person. And all these, sorry.
The feeling you get from the energy from the audience is just
Totally.
nothing. Yeah.
I mean, if you want us to take you seriously, like I said, I believe the virus is real. I've known several people that have had it, and they all told me they came back fine. There was a couple of days of a nasty flu. They tested positive for COVID, and they were like, hey, it was a nasty flu. One of my friends told me, he goes, I had strep throat last year. That was way worse. And
I kind of thought I was dying. I kind of had the virus in December and February because there was another episode of like 2 weeks of being very deathly ill. I couldn't take deep breaths in. It could have just been bronchitis again. I don't know. Or it could have been coronavirus. But here's the thing: I never got the doctor. I'm Italian. We don't do doctors.
it's so true.
Isn't it not true?
I am Italian, and I didn't get health insurance until I was probably 29 years old. When I was a kid, I literally jumped out of a tree and landed on my feet, but my knee cap had dislocated, and basically you can see my kneecap in my thigh. And it was like that at a place, and my father said, we don't need to go to the hospital. He tied a pillow, no joke, a pillowcase around it, above it, and really tight, and he goes, it'll go back into place, just hold that tight.
That was always like, I got some tools in the garage, I can take the tooth out myself.
Yeah. But if you're going to not have any logic behind your restrictions, then I cannot take you seriously. And if you want people to take you seriously, if I don't wear a mask when I walk around, I'm going to tell you right now, I don't.
I stopped, and you know what? I feel so free the few times I go out and take a walk outside.
Yeah.
And it's so sad that I noticed that because I've just recently started taking off my mask. I'm like, I need to breathe some fresh fucking air.
I get really dizzy after wearing it for a while in the store.
Oh, I do it for more than 30 minutes. I do a shopping trip and I rip that shit off. I know people say, and they make all these videos
I know.
how stupid we are because you should be able to wear it. People wear it 8 hours a day. Hey, guess what? I can't. I can't do it.
I feel terrible for those people that have to wear it all day at work. I feel terrible for them. That doesn't go unrecognized with me. I every time I tip like so extra now when I go out to a place because I feel so bad. And you know what? Shame on you for making those workers wear that all day. Shame on you. Like they look at me not wearing one and they're trying to shame me, and it's like shame you, man. You're making children wear that for 8 hours. That's child abuse.
On the next door app, this one bitch was like, I just want to put this because I was at the playground and I saw this 2-year-old without a mask, and I teach my 2-year-old that it's just like putting on shoes. It's the new normal, and I fucking couldn't. Normally I don't age, but I wrote. First of all, how dare you? You don't know that kid was 2. Second of all, you don't know if that kid has medical issues. You do have medical issues. You don't have to wear a mask. Third of all, the new normal? Are you crazy? This is not going to be the new normal. I will not stay here if they think this is the new normal. Fucking Gavin Newsom saying, when you go out to eat, make sure you take a bite, put your mask back on.
Yeah. And he wasn't. And he apologized. I don't know if you saw the video. He came out in a video and apologized today. And he said, hey, we really, blah, blah, blah. We just need to be a little better about practicing what we preach. So I'm really sorry. I apologize to all you people. But it's like, dude, this isn't a simple, I'm going to apologize and get away with it. Because you were there with 12 people. And most of them were doctors. So all of you were it's not like all 12 of you went, oh shit, we forgot our mask. You're talking about you plus doctors are the people advising us to wear that. How are you not really mentally cautious about this?
You know what it's like? It's the relationship how like parents are with kids. Like sometimes you tell your kids stuff, but like it's not a because you have to keep them in check. They're treating us like children. Like
Yeah.
It's not that he believes we need to not wear masks. It's like, oh shit, we got caught. Oh, we got caught now. So let's spin some bullshit, which he's a pro at doing. So that right there, when I saw that, I was like, that is all the proof I need. That we don't need to do this. Because if to do this, these people wouldn't risk their lives. Not to mention, did you see the picture of him in the middle of Black Lives Matter a while ago? Like the big crowd behind him?
Yeah.
No mask. I've been preaching that. I couldn't keep my mouth shut. I was like, why is it okay to go to Black Lives Matter and it's not okay for me to go to church?
A lot of people feel that way. Yeah.
That's not okay.
Yeah.
That's not okay. That's so. I'm sorry. I believe Black Lives Matter. Will I die for that cause? No.
Well, let me tell you.
I for you. Sorry.
The statement that Black Lives Matter, I 100% agree with. Can't argue with it. You can't argue with it. And to the people that go, no, all lives matter. It's like, listen, they didn't say only Black Lives Matter. They just said Black Lives Matter. I agree with the statement, but they are an organization that has named themselves something that is controversial to argue with. If I was going to, you can't argue with it. If you argue with it, you're a racist. If I was going to sell cocaine and heroin, I would name my company Puppies and Kittens. That's a perfect, so if you're going to go out there and stand on a corner and protest for black people, I'm not mad at you, actually for the people, not an organization, or at least research the organization and find out where's that money going. How have they helped black people today? It's going to Biden's campaign, and guys, it's not a conspiracy theory. It's public knowledge. It tells you right on the BLM website where it goes.
They're using emotions to play the fucking world.
And we now know what they did with that money.
Yeah.
They were paying people. They were paying people for their ballots. They were paying people to cheat. They were paying the counters to throw out votes and change votes. Those people made money.
That's not in the mainstream media, though.
Of course not, but it's coming really soon. Do you want to know my? So first of all, before we backtrack, let me close up with saying how I was saying with the logic. How if you want me to take you seriously, have logic. Don't judge me. Be like, oh, you don't wear a mask. It's like, listen, I'm the type of guy. If you invite me over to your house and you ask me to take my shoes off, I'll take my shoes off. Maybe you just had the carpet clean. Maybe you're Asian. Whatever the reason is, I'll take my shoes off. But when I leave the house, I put my shoes back on, and you have no right to tell me to put my shoes on. So when I go to a business, I respect the business. I want them to be able to stay open, and I wear the mask. I can't breathe all the time, and I sneak a little puff, and then I put it back on. But don't give me this judgment and these hard looks when I'm walking in my neighborhood by myself, not near anybody without a mask. They just judge you, and they stone face you.
I was gonna say, I went on a walk and I do the normal thing. They said when you're outside and you're 6 feet away from someone, you don't have to have a mask on. We're in the fucking outdoors.
Yeah, they're going to change that pretty soon. Every day we're going to get more and more restrictions. And if Biden gets in there, we're going to have to wear a mask in our homes. Philadelphia already announced that. Did you know that? The state of Pennsylvania right now, their new lockdown orders is they're telling you got to wear a mask in your house.
This is 1984. This is the book.
It's not even like you can't even like really control that. How are you gonna police that? But the point, it's just the fact that what you're telling people that they can do, and to anybody that thinks that like I'm careless and I don't mean to like shit on people that when people give me dirty looks for not wearing a mask, I don't agree with them. I think that By the way, I love the fuck out of them. That's what I do to get back at them. I go, good morning, when they give me those looks. And I pass the same people every morning. So by now, they have to say good morning back to me. So I just love shoving love down people's throats to where they can't get mad at me. But, So, where was I with this whole thing? It's, you're starting to just tell people what they can do and stuff like that. So what I'm trying to get at is, I also think that people really are great people. There's so many good people out there that even when people go, wear a mask, you selfish piece of shit, like, even those people are good people. Because deep down, they believed the shit they were fed. And they just care about people's lives and safety. You know what I mean? So I ain't mad at them either. But don't judge me because I'm questioning shit. And don't judge me because I don't just do whatever anybody tells me. And if you give me some logic, I'll take your other facts seriously. Don't you believe science? Sure. But your other logic makes no sense, so your whole thing's bullshit.
Science has gone back and forth so many times. I don't know how anyone can have any faith in anything anyone says.
Yeah.
It has flip-flopped so many fucking times. It's like, are you making shit up as you go? Are we the trial? So that means you don't really fucking know, do you? And also to those people who like shame you and stuff, like that mom at the park. Hey, you think you could die? Why would you even chance having your kid around people who don't have masks on?
Yeah.
Stay inside. You should stay inside.
Yeah, it's like a 2-year-old. You try to keep a 2-year-old to keep his mask on the whole time. It's like, come on. And then if you did train your 2-year-old to keep their mask on the whole time, it's like, guess how that kid's gonna grow up? All sheltered.
We're gonna see how these kids grow up. There's no socializing happening. They're fucking wearing a mask so they can't see people's full face expression.
It's so dangerous.
The majority of communication happens non-verbally. So what is this going to be? What's going to happen when they don't have all those non-verbal cues? Are they not going to understand like non-verbal cues? Like, we don't know what's going to happen.
Hey, to anybody that doesn't agree with me and thinks that I'm batshit crazy for everything that I'm saying right now, know this. If you think I'm crazy out of my mind for what I'm saying, keep in mind I was homeschooled. So imagine how crazy your kids are going to be.
And here's the thing, I do wear a mask, I do respect people, but now when I go for a walk, I see people, I'm not kidding, down the block, and they all have, like, family, and they all have masks on, no one's around them. Let
Yeah.
breathe a little, breathe a little, no one's around you, not even, when I see someone within 20 feet, I put my mask on so they know they can be, and also, if I see your family, if I don't want to put my mask on, I just cross the street.
Yeah. I just put a towel on my shoulder, like when I go hiking or I walk my dog. I just put a towel, and when I walk by people, I just go, and then I put it down. It's like, I don't need to carry a mask around.
You know what? I was thinking about that. I haven't done a hike or anything.
I mean, you could just do this. When you walk by somebody, 2 seconds, and then put it down.
I think it's always scary to go hiking alone as a woman. But I have so many self-defense. I literally bought every single self-defense item. Being scared with like everyone, like
Don't bring your Glock to the hike.
No, I'm not gonna be that crazy. I used to have a friend who had a gun for his personal.
Oh my God.
I would never do that, but let me just say that if that armed man came into my house, because you know he held the family hostage, and then he would have been dead.
Yeah.
I don't care. I'll deal with the consequences later. I swear on my life. If someone comes through that door, I will not hesitate. I don't have any moral issues with it. If you're break my home, you're gonna fucking be dead.
Listen, I don't want to shoot nobody. I don't want to kill nobody. Especially these Antifa people. They're young, man. They're young. They're confused kids.
Break into your house and you don't know what their goal is.
Exactly. So I got game plans. I got a shotgun. I got a 22, and I got a 9mm. And I'll tell you what, when shit goes down, I already have my game plan. By the way, I do fire drills in my house, so my wife and I are ready to go as shit happens. Everybody right now has their kid at home with them, doing school online. Why aren't you doing fire drills with your kid like they do in school? You should have a plan, because there could be a fire, there could be an earthquake, there could be someone breaking into your house. What do you do? My wife.
There's been all things. We've had earthquakes. There was a pretty big one.
Yep.
Recently. So now I have those cat carriers by the door. I have a plan.
I got fire blankets. I got a fire blanket for the dog. I got an overnight bag that I just got to grab. My wife knows what to grab. She's going to get the 22. I got the shotgun. I go out there first, and I'll give you a warning. Hey, if you open that door, I'm just shooting.
Me too.
I'll give you a warning.
It's so funny because I just got my new block, and so obviously I don't keep it loaded. Well, not obviously, but when the manhunt was happening and the helicopters were overhead, I was like, "Bosh, I should probably get used to my gun. I just got it. I've only played with it the first night. Hold on, bing."
It's that Guinness.
That a lot, yeah. So I tried to load my
Your magazine?
Yeah, the magazine, and it is hard because it's brand new.
Spring, yeah.
So I was like sweating. I was like, I should have had two magazines. I was like, I should always fucking have one loaded. So I only to get 5 in there out of 10, and that was a fucking struggle. I need a man to come over to load my magazine.
It takes practice.
Well, also the spring is really tight, and I'll never do it with them.
Yeah, you're fucked if someone comes in right now.
I have my one magazine loaded. I'll fucking pop that shit in. Done.
Watch some YouTube videos of women that have just practice. Over
anything I do. So I've already literally watched 2 hours of YouTube videos. I'm gonna go to the reading range probably this week. And also I grew up with guns. We have guns all over the house.
I just sit there when shit's getting crazy and I hear helicopters and stuff outside. Especially nowadays, I sit there on the couch and just watch TV, and I got my 9 on my right hand.
Yep.
It's not loaded, and I got in my left hand, on the left of me sitting on the couch is the clip fully loaded.
Hey.
So somebody comes in, all you do is,
It gives peace of mind, and I can't believe, I always tweet holy shit, help me.
Yeah.
That's all I got, because I'm like, God forbid something happens, I'm tweeting my address.
Yeah.
I know people are, I will literally be like, fucking come now. But
Do you hear how crazy we sound? That's what's wrong with people's mental health right now. This is what it's come to, guys.
We live in LA where our stores are boarded up because they could be on fire. If those stores go on fire, my house is in jeopardy.
A lot of the Democrat-ran states are that way.
I know, and so that's why. And did you know, the reason why I went to my sister's ranch is because if shit does hit the fan in LA, they have a plan to block off coming in or out of the city.
Oh, that's cool.
So you need to have routes just for you that are side streets because they're shut down the entrances to freeways. Motherfucker, I have a map in my backpack. I grew up with maps. I know how to read a map. So don't think you're gonna box me into LA.
I know.
I'll fucking go on the sidewalk. I don't give a shit. Try to chase me. I'm out of here if shit happens.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's crazy. But I did feel. I actually find the manhunt was one of the scariest things that have happened in a couple months. And there has been more than one manhunt. There have been police walking on my street multiple times looking for people in the last few months because LA has become.
It's crazy. Hold on, hold that thought really quick. I got to remind everybody that this episode is brought to you by Masterclass. You guys, Masterclass is there for you while you're in there losing your mind in your house. You could be doing something to better your life. Come out of this having learned something new that you've always wanted to. You can take a history class on there, cooking classes. There's acting, comedy, writing classes you can do in the comfort of your own home, and most importantly, on your schedule and your budget. The hardest thing about finally doing that thing that you've always wanted to do or get better at is finding the time to do it and finding the money to do it. So Masterclass makes it that much easier where you can do it all on your schedule. And it's super affordable. Normally, it's like $90 per course. But click the link in the description of this podcast, and you can sign up for the entire website, have access to every single course that they offer for for $180, okay, for the whole year. So if you want to take the comedy and the writing, or the acting and the comedy, or the cooking, or maybe you want to do cooking and your roommate wants to do something else, you guys can split it, you know. So click the link in the description, and if you're watching on YouTube, sometimes those links don't work. So go to homeschoolpod.com, click on merch, homeschoolpod, click on sponsors, and then you will find the link for masterclass. Okay, back to the show really quick, and we'll wrap up here soon. Yes, you and I are from the same place. I'm born and raised in Sherman Oaks. I've never seen it look this bad in my entire life. This was an upscale neighborhood. There's literally around the corner from my house a brand new home that was built. It's going for $8 million. Another home down the street just sold for $2 million. It's an upscale, expensive. And then down the street now, there's an encampment of fucking homeless. And I'm not trying to seem heartless. I feel for the homeless. I'm very fortunate to have a roof over my head, and I've had help over the years with that when I was young. And I'm not trying to be cold about it, but I know it's worse than it's ever been. And
it's dangerous. It's different when they're criminals.
It's bad. Los Angeles used to be the entertainment capital of the country, and they will not let us entertain anymore. They will not let us do even outdoor live stand-up comedy. We are now the tent capital. That's where California is. We're the tent capital. It's either a tent to go eat or at a restaurant outside, or it's a tent that a homeless guy is living in. The other day, I walked into a tent and I was like, table for two, and the guy was like, get out of here. I'm just kidding. I made that part. These are the jokes, people.
It's pretty bad. It's actually really bad. I have this symptoms that I've become numb to it. You know, the more crime that happens, the more numb you get. At the same time, I'm scared of walking in the same route every day because people learn women's patterns. And we become victimized. But
Yeah.
I have a phaser. I have mace.
Good.
I have a crazy ass Italian temper with no fucking fear.
It's so crazy. And you can't even like call the cops when you see a shady character in a mask anymore. Like in the middle of the afternoon, if I saw someone creeping by, someone's car or someone's house wearing a mask, I would call the cops immediately. Now they're just like, oh, it's a dude in a mask. So who knows what this guy's up to.
My car alarm went off the other day. Nothing. The sad thing is I'm becoming numb, which is a really bad state of mind to be in. I'm literally numb, and like you said, I sit there on my bed. I have my book next to me. I have my magazine right here. Practice how fast it is to pop it in. I feel fine. At first I was gonna flee LA and move the fuck away, but then I'm like, you know what? This is my home.
I feel the same way.
My home city, and you know what? I don't know if this is sustainable, this edginess. I think I'm numb, but it's still stressful. But I feel safe with my gun. And
Good.
I sleep with shit under my pillows. Like no
Well,
one's gonna.
it's tough when you live alone. I understand the fear, and I don't know what advice I would have other than to the people listening. If you live alone and you do have a weapon or something like that, I would just say watch a lot of videos on self-defense. Watch a lot of videos. Just because you have a gun doesn't mean that you know what to do, or that you know what I mean. You could shoot yourself on accident. Just make sure you're watching tons of videos. I advise everybody.
There's so many videos, and they're like you can follow along with them. I've watched and I've subscribed to so many guys who do videos on specific guns. So I'll literally go together. Like I know how to clean my gun. I know everything.
Well, let's wrap this up with this, and I don't want to scare you anymore. But here's my theory on why tomorrow. So if you're listening to this podcast, it's today, Friday, the 20th, right?
I don't even know.
Okay. So
wait, today's Thursday?
yes, today's Thursday the 19th, I believe. So, as of tomorrow, Los Angeles and a lot of counties in California, we have our 10 p.m. curfew back. You didn't know that. Okay, so a lot of restaurants are forced to be closed at 10. Again, speaking of no logic behind things. So at 10 p.m., everything open right now, basically, that is allowed to be open, you now have to close at 10. So outdoor restaurants even. And I have heard from a friend of mine who's a cop that he's been ordered to go patrol after 10 p.m. and give tickets to anybody who's out on the road. Unless you're on your way to your job as an essential worker.
Is coronavirus more contagious after 10, kind of like the gremlins?
Hence the no logic behind it. But I'll tell you my theory, and then we'll get out of here. You ready? Here's my theory of the real reason for the 10 p.m. curfew. Well, number one, it could be that the people that run and control us are just fucking stupid, if you really think that's going to help with COVID. Because all you're doing is making people all show up at the restaurant and gym at the same time, which is going to be more crowded during business hours.
Open right now?
Maybe not. I don't know, but I'm thinking about because But here's the thing, and here's what kind of feeds my theory a little bit, is that a lot of states are doing the 10 p.m. curfew right now. A lot of them, not just us. So here's here's what I think is the actual reason for the 10 p.m. curfews. I think that we are about to have crazy riots again. I think it's going to be we're going to have straight up purges, and it's going to be crazy, and you do not want to be out at night after 10 o'clock, to be honest with you. I think we are extremely close to them announcing that Trump won this. And we thought we were going to get riots before, but
the fact that they're doing it
the fact that they let you think that Biden won this whole time, I mean, I could be wrong. Maybe they're going to swear in Biden eventually.
I hope I'm not psychic, but let me just say these are my thoughts.
Yeah.
I think that they're gonna say Trump won because of fraud, and now the riots are gonna be 10 times worse than
they're going to be 10 times worse.
And also like the fact that people say Trump supporters are insane, crazy, and guys with pickup trucks and guns. The fact that when everyone said Biden won, no one rioted. Hi, Democrats, you should fucking check yourself.
Absolutely. Everybody feels that way.
That party will riot if they don't get their way is crazy. How do you for the logical party? And just so you know, I don't even know what I am anymore. I registered as Green Party because there's no box for me.
I don't register as anything. I don't need to put a label on myself. Why do we have to? Yeah, you can just vote. You can just do independent. But why do we have to label ourselves something and then vote that way for every subject? Not every subject has the same answer. So it's like if somebody says, "What's your favorite color?" and I go red, and they go, "What's your favorite food?" and I go red. You know what I mean? You have to change the answer depending on what the problem is. So I don't vote one way across the board. And to tell you the truth, I call myself the liberal conservative because I feel like I'm at like a little medium place. You know what I mean? There's certain subjects that I'm very liberal on, and there's certain subjects I'm a little conservative on.
LGBTQ, parties, women, I want everyone to have the same rights, same ability.
But as soon as you start going like, hey, don't maybe burn people's businesses down, they're like, oh, what? You're a conservative? It's like, what?
Oh, you can't tell an oppressed person how to fucking protest.
But they can tell us, apparently.
Yeah, I can if you're hurting my property and me.
And you mentioned to me earlier that you said you've been a liberal most of your life, and to tell you the truth, I am still, I think, in many ways, and I think you are too. We're the ones telling, yeah.
We're the ones who are the punk rocks. Hey. People left the Democrat Party recently. We're the true punk rocks.
We're the OG libs. That's our name.
We really are. There should be a new party called the OG libs.
The OG libs.
I'm conservative. I'm a fucking liberal. I
I mean, I love everybody, and I can see everybody's point of view where they're coming from, and if it comes from a good place deep down. But there's a lot of. I mean, by the way, that's a super liberal thing to say. but you and I are sitting here talking about not having to wear a mask on our face if we don't want to. You and I are basically saying my body, my choice, which is a very liberal thing to say. And the other side is saying, no, it's not your choice what you should put on your face or not. So that is like the anti-liberal. So I don't understand that. It's super flipped.
We're one step away from full fucking parkas, like
Yeah.
the Muslim priests. Like literally, like that's what this is. You can only see my eyes. Are you next?
It's crazy.
Next is going to be a head covering for only women who have a hormone that you covered on.
And before you know it, little by little, we are what they wanted. The one world controlled, you know what I mean? The new world, which is like they didn't want divided countries. They didn't want divided religions. They want everybody to be the same thing and controlled. But anyway, to everybody, mental health is extremely important. Get out, go for a walk. If you're scared, be socially distant. Do something, you guys. Take a class on masterclass if you're not leaving the house. Keep busy, like Liv said in the beginning of the podcast. That's the key, is to keep busy. Do stuff. Wake up in the morning. Set your alarm, even though you don't have a job and you're not going anywhere. Set your alarm. Wake up and have your coffee and write your list out of things you want to get done that day. And do them and check them off as you go. Little goals.
Add to that, because I'm the queen of insomnia. I've had struggled with insomnia my whole life. I have finally just given into it, knowing that with everything going on, I basically can't sleep very much through the night. So I've kind of embraced it, and I've said, okay, if I can't sleep through the night, I still need to sleep. So on everything, like I sometimes go to sleep at 5 a.m. And I wake up at 1 p.m. Or I even go to sleep at noon and I wake up at 8 p.m. The only reason why I'm not losing my marbles right now is because I'm getting my 8 hours. They're at the worst times. It's not like a normal schedule. But you know what I do? At midnight, I do set my alarm. When I know I'm falling asleep, I set my alarm for 8 hours. When I wake up, I don't give a shit if it's 3 in the morning, midnight, 2 in the morning. I get up, I have my coffee, I have my vitamins. I try to meditate, and I
It's key to install discipline, and it's key to stay busy and adopt a pet.
Brace it like I have, like because at first I was like, oh well, now what am I gonna do at 2 a.m. Well, now I'm just saying, well, this is my day. This is my day begins. So
There you go.
I have breakfast at 2 a.m.
All right, well, it was great seeing you and talking to you. Thank you for coming on today, especially like kind of last minute. I'm glad that you were able to come on, and I'll let you go. I got to read my shout outs to a few people here today, but thank you. And her podcast is called why am I drawing a blank? The Not So Sexy Podcast with Liv Milano.
And August is going to be my guest. Very
I'll be on soon. I'm
excited. Thanks for having me.
Thank you. I'll see you next time. Bye.
Bye.
All right, that was Liv Milano. Great conversation. I think we made a lot of excellent points. I think that we hopefully you're back. I think that we made some excellent points and that we got our voices heard on a lot of important issues, especially regarding mental health, which I can't talk about enough. I can do like 100 episodes on how important mental health is, you guys. And if anybody needs to talk, feel free to hit me up. Go to homeschoolpod.com, click on contact, and you guys can shoot me an email. Also, my social media too. You know, I'm on Twitter, Instagram, all that stuff. At Augustino Zoida. And all right, you guys, let me do some shout outs here, and then I gotta go. Let's see, what do I want to do? Here's some shout outs. I want to give a shout out to Ian Gifford, Morgan Hawko, Turd McGee Ford. It's awesome. Doug Harris. I want to give a shout out to Ryan Dolan, Christy Belich, Death Dog, and Sean Ongley. All right, you guys. So big thank you. If I gave you a shout out, it's because I want to say thanks for the support that you have shown. And maybe it was online or something like that. And thank you for checking out the podcast. And to everybody loyal to Homeschooled Podcast, thank you for continuing to coming back. And we love you guys. Guys, stay safe, stay mentally sane. You got to do stuff, okay? You got to keep moving. And don't be afraid to hit me up if you got to talk, okay? Homeschoolpod.com. Click on Contact, all right? Don't forget to click the link in the description for Masterclass. And please download my album, The Bad Guy, available everywhere. You can find the links at homeschoolpod.com. Click on merch and pick up a t-shirt or something. Okay, you guys, have a great, safe weekend. Thanksgiving's right around the corner. We're going to have some fun. We're going to spread some love. And don't forget that love is the most important thing, and it's the only thing that's going to save the world. I'm Augustino Zoida. This is Homeschooled Podcast. Homeschooled Podcast.
Homeschool.
The Homeschool Podcast. Why? Because he was homeschooled.
I don't want to do that.
Okay.
I don't want to do that at all.